Morning everyone. You'll see here with these battery powered trimmers just how efficient they actually are. Now these hedges have already been touched up just the other day, but only lightly. This is going to be a bit more of a heavier prune to shape them properly, and you just see the difference between the two-stroke and the battery powered. There isn't much difference at all for the power for these type hedges anyway. Like, it's only when you get to the real thick stuff that you would ever notice the difference. So for this, it's just so perfect and convenient to use the battery powered. And yeah, sorry I'm talking a bit quieter this morning. It's very early, not wanting to disturb too many people. But anyway, enjoy this video, and yeah, I'll have some footage from back in the shed talking about the hedge trimmers, and probably my young bloke giving me a hand loading up the ute like he does most Arvos. Alright guys, cheers. Not sure if you can pick that up on camera. There's mozzies galore that I've just disturbed in amongst the bushes there. But we'll keep going here, get up above the top of all the hedges here. Sorry guys, gonna have to get some bloody air guard. Another quick tip, you see just how versatile it is with the extension pole compared to the handheld, where you're having to get up on, same deal, on platforms, ladders, etc. You get most of it off the ground with this extension pole. It saves the need for getting up there, risking falling over on unstable ground, things like that. But also it's just so great, you can pivot the head, turn the head to get even more of a curved shape. Yeah, they're just bloody great machines. Alright, so here we are on the other side of the garden bed. You're going to see just how easy it is to create a nice looking area when you've got overgrown plants in amongst it, but you still want to keep those existing plants. Just to pretty much trim up either side of the centre bush, bring it in line down the edges with the outside edge of the garden bed. Just keep everything uniform, looking the same. If it's got curves, keep it curved. If it's square, make it square. It's very simple, but also if you're on a job and you can't ask the owner, it's just using common sense. going through the motions but getting the job done at the same time. But it's very simple. You just look at it for what it is, what it was, and just make it the same going forward, unless the owner asks otherwise, because it's just a general tidy up. And then once you get everything down, that's when I like to come through with a blower, blow everything out from the inside of the garden beds, and then all the debris, weeds, everything else like that can be pulled after this. That way you're not trying to fight through the leaves and everything else to get to it. You blow it all out, then go through, get all the weeds and get all the sticks, etc. So, alright, I'll keep that there because I'm going to be doing enough talking in the shed this afternoon. I've got a bit of equipment to get from the shop, and then I'll get onto this video hopefully this afternoon and get it all edited and probably be ready to go for tomorrow. So, thanks again. Sorry for the noise. I'm just going to have this petrol unit running just to get rid of the last of these mozzies. Sun's starting to come out now, so little buggers will be gone soon. running that bit of petrol key done the trick for them Aussies. Don't know if you could pick any up on the camera here, but they're quite rampant. Alright, well I'll leave that there. Onto the garage footage now. Maybe before all that, I'll show you my young bloke. He's only 3 years old. He loves helping me load the ute every arvo, or whenever he can anyway. Sometimes it's a hindrance, but he's not going to be that young forever, so it's worth it. Throws his little toy Husqvarna gear on there and he loves it. Alright guys, talk to you soon. Cheers, bye.
Get out of the water! My goodness! Alright, let's load the ute. And you got it?
Yeah.
Hey! I think I've pretty much got everything over there. No, come on. Load the ute. You stand this way. Stand there. Wait for the camera.
Yeah.
Now careful. And the heat. They don't need to see all of this. Just show them. Then bring it back over this way. Down. Gabby.
Heath, make splash.
Hey, high five. Thanks, bud. Alright. End recording.
Under my hand.
Back here, mate. Alrighty. How we going, everybody? Another busy day. Just had a massive storm event that's gone as quick as it came. I'll just pan out real quickly, because I've got plenty to talk about this afternoon. I want to make it a little bit quicker for you guys, so it's not taking an hour to get through each episode. But yeah, sun's shining again, but you'll see in some footage, or you would have already seen, my young bloke playing in the puddle there, waiting for some concrete and the ramp to be finished off, so I can get some gear up in here a bit easier. Alright, so today's video, as I've mentioned in the description, talking about all these hedge trimmers, and all the different varieties that I've got. I've also got the battery powered units, which is now my gear of choice. I'm going to be loading back on the ute for tomorrow, but for the purpose of this video I've got them ready to go. Now I'm just going to go rapid fire again, but even quicker with my phone. Just some points, pros and cons on each of the units, with the Bushranger, the STIHL and the Husqvarna, and then the other two battery units. So all the information's there. We're just going to go as quick as possible through this. I'm just going to quickly grab them off the shelf now, show you how they start up, and at least you can hear the noises and things like that I'm going to be discussing, how loud they actually are, and that does have a factor and play a role when you are using them day in, day out. So I'll quickly grab them now. Hopefully I've got enough fuel in each of them to fire it up once for you. Now these articulating heads I'll be discussing as well. I'll just fire it up for you. Now all of these haven't been started in a while because I've been using the battery gear, so give it a bit of a prime up here. Alright, choke on. Oh, that fired up pretty well, didn't it? Give that another go. Clearly the loudest of the bunch. And as I've discussed previously, nothing wrong with the quality of that Bushranger gear, made in Japan, like I've spoken about before. That hasn't been started in a very long time, probably a month. Fired up first go, so very impressed to see how the other two go. Now this is the STIHL, which is like a homeowner unit, one of the first ones I ever got for the business. And it has served me pretty well. I'll talk about it in depth in the video, but these are the teeth that you'll notice. One-sided and then flipped onto the other side there is the sharper sides, and then the other two is more of like a guide really. The cutting is actually on this, and these are just like running alongside it to help cut it off, whereas the other ones razor sharp on every single tooth, so makes a difference when you're cutting finer hedges. Alright, we'll give this one a go. This typically was the hardest. Do a few more primes. No articulating head, doesn't swivel, just fixed, so it's a bit annoying when you're doing long runs and you're going sideways. This wrist, a lot of pressure and tension on that wrist. Alright, second loudest there as you can tell, but really good unit for the price. I think it's $250, so you can't go wrong when you got a unit like that. It's good for all my, I wouldn't say rougher jobs, but more rougher type plants where you can't use your good equipment on it because it's too twiggy, too thick, and you just want to get something quickly to get it down, and then you're coming back along with your good one. So get the Husqvarna going. Seems to be stuck. That's one thing you got to watch if it is. Don't just try and get your fingers in amongst it. They're very sharp teeth, so same with a chainsaw, same rule applies. You don't want to be slicing your finger. Now, I'm not lying when I said they haven't been used in a while. That's just suctioned itself on there with the canola spray acting as a bit of glue there. Alright, so heaviest of the bunch, also the quietest, the neatest finish. A lot of positives with this one too. So see how it goes. So you gotta even remember where the bloody chokes are on these things. First go, bloody Husqvarna. Now, one thing with this, you do gotta let it warm up a little bit. You'll hear it just wanting to fight it. Get that fuel in the line. Every now and again, if you want, just give that bubble a bit of a squeeze. Get it a bit quicker, but really, if you just let it idle like this for a minute before you start your job, it's no big deal. Same deal with the swivel head, all the way around. Doesn't really finish going. Right. Alright, we'll set these up here. You can sort of see the blade lengths then. Get rid of the covers for now. And you'll see what I'm talking about with certain pluses and minuses with each and every single one of them. But I'll discuss the topics. I'll show you the unit as I'm discussing it and talk about all the points. Which I might even be able to get behind the camera here and zoom down on them. Might be easier. You don't need to be looking at my mug every video, do you? Now, here's a little pup that's always in my video. Another one, camped out over there, not too far away from me. Alright, so you can see all the handles, pretty much dead in line there. I'll just zoom in, we'll discuss each one. Alright, let's get into it. So, you can read it all if you like. Alright, so yeah, the purpose of this video is not to show you my dog. Now, go! Now, go! Get out of it! Sorry about that. Alright, so a lot of people have been asking why I've chosen so many different types of hedges, but there is a purpose for every single one of these hedges. So I'll go through this list now and we'll get into it. So starting with the furthest one there, you got the Bushranger L23, I'm pretty sure. I'll go through the model numbers at the end and just so I don't mess them up. It's just the 23cc version. So the pros for it, it's very lightweight, easy to use, manoeuvre, great power. It's got a shorter blade length there that you can see. They're perfect for smaller varieties of hedges. The double edge cutting tips, which I will zoom in at the end of the video, so stick around for that, but you'll see exactly what I'm talking about with the teeth and the way they're set up. I've spoken about the swivel handle on the unit and how convenient that is, especially on long runs, but even on hedges that do need shaping, you get yourself into some awkward situations sometimes where you've got to bend and curve and twisting that handle. Sometimes it really alleviates a lot of strain on your hand, so it's a great feature that I think every hedge trimmer should have, especially the handheld ones. Obviously the long extension ones not so much, but we'll get into that in a second. Now the cons of the Bushranger, it's very loud. Now I've just shown that it is reliable to start, however it's not reliable to use all day long. They tend to overheat. I've tried looking at the air filter, I've tried looking at the carby, I've tried a lot of things. It just seems to be something to do with the design of that engine, because the whip snipper does the same thing. So the 23C, whether it's not quite powerful enough to be used all day long, but the idea of that was to make it as light as possible, get that shorter blade length on there, and yeah, that was the purpose of it. So luckily I don't have a lot of ornamental type hedging to do, so what I do use it for, it does the job fine. Yeah, so the blade length is too short sometimes, but that's the thing, you get longer ones, that's the idea. You've got one for a certain situation with short ones, and you've got the others for the long and twiggier ones. So the exhaust point I've spoken about in previous videos, it shoots down on the Bushranger, and by doing that, small leaf type hedges, you're going to get leaf burn, especially if you're doing long runs and you're going back and across time and time again with it. Now the handle, even the loop handle, the swivel, there's just cheap plastics used, and they don't feel like they're going to be, they don't feel like they're commercial grade, so they don't feel like they're going to last as long as this unit. This unit here feels quality. It's heavy, but it feels very, very quality materials used throughout. So yeah, even the still compared to the Bushy, the Bushranger, to me it's just built to a cost, does its job, but even to the fuel tank, like everything about it just feels cheap. The bloody cap to get on and off, like everything about it. So moving on to the STIHL, moving on real quick here. The pros, it's medium to lightweight. It's definitely lighter than the Husky 2-stroke, I should say. The battery one's obviously lighter than all of them. Blade length is 600mm, so you can just see there on the camera. It's hard to see, but it is definitely slightly longer than the Husqvarna. So the Husqvarna claims to be 600mm. I don't have the tape measure on me, but either way, the STIHL is 600mm, sold as a 600mm, and is definitely longer there. So, especially from where you're holding it, you think on them loop handles there, that's where your arm's going to be. So that's the reach. You can't cheat it. It is what it is. So for that, I do like the STIHL a little bit better for that little extra reach. So the single-sided cutting blades is actually a pro when it comes to cutting twiggy type hedges or plants. It can be used all day if needed, and it's very affordable to buy. So I've spoken about that before. Extremely affordable unit, and it won't let you down all day long. Did have issues early on. We'll make mention again of the 2-stroke oil that I was using, which was the STIHL variety. For whatever reason, all my 2-stroke units were running real rough and dying just with that 2-stroke oil. Another reason I've switched everything over to Husqvarna, and I haven't had a drama since. So now the cons with the STIHL there, I've just mentioned it there, the 2-stroke oil. It stalls easy and runs rougher with the STIHL variety of 2-stroke oil. Now, might have just been in my experience, but this is what the purpose of this video is. This is all based on my experience and my opinion, so take everything with a grain of salt, but it's just little tips that I like to pass on because these are the issues that I've ran into over the 18 months I've had this business. So the longer blade at full stretch, it can be extremely heavy, especially on long 30 metre, 40 metre plus type hedges. You're going to feel it in your forearms, in your shoulders, in your back, like especially if you're reaching right over. It's just, yeah, that's where that long blade length can be a bit of a downer. So second loudest of the bunch, I've already shown you that. The exhaust point, same deal. This one on the STIHL, it shoots down, can burn your leaves. No swivel handle, that's a biggie. You really need it. On a variety of types of hedges, it's worth having. So what else? Moving on to the Husqvarna. Pros are, sorry, kids are next door just getting home from school. Sorry. Right, so quietest 2-stroke that I own is definitely that Husqvarna. You could hopefully tell in the video, but I'm telling you right here and now, it's definitely by far the quietest. You can nearly use that without earmuffs, even compared to the battery unit. It's very very quiet for a 2-stroke. Now it's crisp, neat finishes every single time with the Husqvarna and the Bushranger, purely because of their teeth, the way they're set up, which I will show you. Don't worry, it is coming. Yeah, so the blade guard, or the teeth guard, if you can see on the end there, that thing right there, let's see if it's up, down a bit, yeah, okay, you can tell right there, saves the tip of the unit, whereas you can see on the other 2 units, not one to be seen. See if I can see the Bushranger there for you. And that's not snapped off teeth at all, that's just the design of it. Again, built to a cost. You can always add it, I'm sure. But still, for the money, the Bushranger was sort of double the price of the STIHL and still didn't come with that stuff. It's got the little protective guard up higher here, but really that doesn't do a great deal. It's more the tip you're worried about when you're hard up on concrete edges. You really want that, so that's a major plus with this Husqvarna unit. What else have we got here? Exhaust point shoots above, which I will zoom in at the end here. I'll take the camera off and get down nice and low and show you. It shoots above the blade, or blades and teeth. So you're not going to get that leaf burn that you do with the other two units. Alright, cons. It's one of the most expensive ones on the market, and especially this one. Yeah, I got in before they've changed all the carby and emission standards and everything else. They've only got one more left at the shop, which I'm actually thinking of getting, especially if I do require more workers. It's just a solid unit, and it's one that it's going to last. People have had these type units for 20 years, you know, like they do last a long time, the two-stroke. That will be a very pivotal point for these battery units, but the lightness and everything else outweighs all that, so we'll get into that. Alright, cons are also heaviest of the lot, forearm shoulder burn for sure with this unit. Husqvarna, very, very heavy unit, which is surprising because a lot of their other gear is extremely light. Now, yeah, did I mention it's heavy? I've gone and said it again, I just wanted to make sure. It's very reliable, very robust, but extremely heavy compared to these two. The blade length, not too happy that it's not exactly as long as the STIHL. It's not a deal breaker obviously, but still, that maybe they've kept it that little bit shorter because of the weight factor. A lot of people, when they get the single-sided ones, have been complaining that they are too heavy for long runs and long days and things like that, so you can definitely understand that. I will quickly mention the 4-stroke Honda, which is on the back of the ute. I'll run out there before I finish the video. Now, it has been a great tool for multi-tool use. I'll just swing this back around for you. Sorry about that, just had to swing the camera around there. Now, talking about the 4-stroke Honda, it's a multi-tool hedge trimmer attachment, comes with chainsaw attachment. It's got brush cutting attachments, got 3 different extension poles that can actually give you close to 6 meters reach. But when it is that long, you get a bit of an arc happening when they're all joined up. In the machine, I don't really like doing it at full extension because you can just hear the gears and all the rods and everything else working and grinding against one another. It's not really ideal to be using it like that. But 2 extensions, so you're probably 4.5 meters extension. That's probably its safe, comfortable limit that it likes, which is perfect for the majority of work that I do. What's coming in the future is the Husqvarna battery unit, which comes with that 5.5 meter swivel telescopic shaft on it, which gives you a great reach and lightness. So another video altogether. Moving on. We've I couldn't get certain areas off a ladder and scaffold and platforms, etc. So that's where that Honda tool come in handy. $400 and something off eBay, I've spoken about before. Honestly, cheap as chips compared to going into a Honda shop where it's $800 for the unit and 2 attachments. I've got all these, I think it was 11 attachments all up, including all the little heads for the brush cutter. So with that, yeah, value for money. I was starting the business, I couldn't afford to go out and buy top of the range genuine Honda attachments, so this was the next best thing. Got the genuine Honda engine with the aftermarket type attachments, and it's done the job. So I'll probably end up getting another one again if I get another worker, because it's such a convenient one to have. If anything happens to the battery ones, you've still got that with all the attachments. It's easy to collapse in the back of a ute, easy to chuck in the back of a boot of a car if that's what you've got. Not ideal to have fuels in the back of the car like that, but some people, that's all they got, so it's worth mentioning. So yeah, definitely the heaviest unit out of the lot is that Honda. I've spoken about that many times, I don't need to keep going over that. So yeah, I'll mention the last and greatest innovative pieces of equipment in my repertoire, and that's the repertoire. It's a big word, isn't it? Now, the battery units is what I'm discussing. I'll just quickly show you those. We'll zoom down on them. I'll discuss those quickly. Alright, so we just had that rain event, same deal I've spoken about before. Let's see if we can get that focused a bit better for you. Now, yeah, the water is fine. I try and keep the batteries in it, especially if it is raining, just to keep everything sealed up and all the connections sealed up. I'll just come out a bit there. So, things that are great with these main hedges of mine is the lightweight and the noise factors. So you can be used first thing in the morning, won't disturb the neighbours as much. They still make a noise obviously, but it's a lot better than having that thing going, that's for sure. Now, without fatigue, you can use it all day long, 100% with these battery units. Definitely come home, I don't need to have a Radox bath or a salt bath or anything like that with these ones. It's fine. So they're just as powerful for general hedging and pruning works in a commercial or residential sense. So for a commercial contractor, I'm finding these ones, which is their commercial grades, perfect. But if you're residential, I'll just opt for these anyway, because they're going to last you a lot longer than their residential versions. And for the price difference, I prefer to use those. So got my wife and son there watching me do the video here. Hold on a second, I'll just see if I can zoom in. Come to the window, Heath. I can't move the camera, Gab. Move him to the fly screen.
He wants to come out to you.
Alright, I'm nearly done. Funny bugger. Alright, moving on. Sorry for the distraction, guys. Okay, so the batteries, obviously on these two units, they last ridiculously long. 3 days. On acreages, I've used both of these types. Now I use the bigger battery, which is 9.2 amp hour. Don't hold me to that, but I'm sure it's around the 9 amp hour. And then you got the 5 point something amp hour smaller one in this. I prefer the heavier battery in this because for longer reach stuff, I'm doing a lot of that on acreages, so it just works better, and you don't have to swap out the battery as often. Not that I have tried it with this, so I'm going to have to try it, but I don't like the heavier battery in this handheld unit. I prefer to keep that as light as possible. I just find this one's easy to control with the long shaft you've got there to sort of help support with. You can hold your arm out a lot longer, whereas with this, it's all up close to your body, but then that bar comes out a lot further. So it's funny how it works, but you'll know what I mean if you try both of them out. They come with the same cut quality. The cut quality is identical. Can't tell the difference between the two-stroke and these, especially on thinner hedges, but it can do thicker stuff. I just wouldn't recommend it. It's going to wear out your battery quicker. It's going to wear out the teeth anyway. You typically don't want to be doing too thick with hedges, even though occasionally I do, especially on softer type woods, but very rarely do I consistently do it. It's just if one or two is in my way and I can quickly do it while I'm there, then I'll do it. Now, I'll just zoom this out a quick little bit. So all I want to talk about now, and I've spoken about the weather, can be used in all types of weather, so that's fine. I've spoken about the multi tool that's coming, along with the chainsaw for the battery powered units. So once they arrive, I'll be doing a review on those, let you know my thoughts on that piece of equipment. And honestly, I've got high hopes for them, because these two here, besides this one that had the fault in that loop handle, which is still being rectified, but then they just under warranty, brand new piece of equipment. So stand by their tools, another great reason to pick Husqvarna. Now, all in all, alright, so I just noticed the battery's starting to die, so I'm just about finished, which is good. It's probably my quickest yet, personal best. Good job, Dan. So yeah, I just want to talk about, all in all, these products have earned their place in my repertoire that I've spoken about. So many different hedges that I do, such great variety, and it's great to have so many to choose from. If one lets you down, or if one's just overheating like that Bushranger does, I can grab the Husqvarna for that neater finish. If I want to get them rougher hedges done, I grab the STIHL. It's just so many great benefits to it, having so many to choose from, and just not feeling like if it lets you down, you're going to be stuck there with the shears and you're losing money, because it's all about productivity, especially when you're quoting on the job and not doing an hourly rate. You want to be in and out, but you also want to be quality, and take the time and care that's needed, but these machines make it quicker. So it's about growing the business in a way, and I'll talk about in future videos, having that productivity there, but having the equipment to back it up. And you can tell people, like, everything that I earn, and everyone knows, it's going back into the business, it's going back into growing our family and our family assets and things like that. But mainly, all profit goes straight back into the business, and it enables me to give a better service, better quality of service to my clients, and I've spoken about that time and time again. You need that quality gear, that quality piece of equipment at all times. And people talk about brand names, or you don't have to get brand names, but in my experience with power tools, brand names everything, especially when it comes to warranty. You want to have that as backup, because if anything fails, I'm staring at a eBay Bushranger chainsaw at the moment, and anything goes wrong with that, I've got to send that back all the way down to Sydney, into their Sydney warehouse down there, and I don't like my chances getting it fixed under warranty. It's probably out of warranty now, to be honest. So moving forward, off topic again, I've done so well to get this far without doing that. So yeah, I hope this video has been very helpful. If there's any questions at all, shoot them through in the comments. Get in touch on Facebook, Instagram. I don't use a great deal of. It doesn't really bring me much revenue anyway, so it's more of a hobby for the Instagram stuff, which I will pump that full of some nice photos that I have got over the last 18 months. But yeah, typically for the business, it doesn't have the same reach as Facebook, YouTube, and general word of mouth, and yeah, texting and phoning. So I'll just double check everything here, make sure I'm all good. Yeah, any queries about the units, just shoot that through as well. Anything you need to know about the units, I can go into detail. And that's what, yeah, in future these videos aren't going to take an hour, hopefully. I can just get all this information to you guys. Anything you need to know further, I'm happy to help. Shoot that question through, and yeah, just keep liking, subscribing. I know, like I've said before, this could take 12 months to get this out there. I'm not pushing it a great deal on my other social media to explain that I have got this channel, but clients are slowly starting to tune in and watch, and then they have people they know, and it spreads from there. But the wider community, going forward, there's going to be people in America and places like that that are going to be watching this, to just show the difference between what they have in America versus Australia, and our drier, harsher conditions typically. And we don't have frozen winters, so we don't have the same conditions at all. Obviously certain places do snow in Australia, done it again, but you've got to just understand where I'm living. Typically you get your minuses, but not often do you get snow fall. So moving on, I think that's about it. Beautiful. Alright, we'll go to the ute, show you the Honda quickly. I'll show you the teeth on these hedge trimmers, and that's about it. Alright, unhook this here real quick, and then we'll do our little sign off and we're out of here. It's a quick one, good. Proud of myself for that. Now I just haven't got them spaced out properly on this unit, but you can tell hopefully with the camera here. Now I'll just get above it so you can see. Let's see if I can turn this unit sideways here. Underneath, help if I showed you what I'm showing you. Alright, so don't worry about the longer bits there. It's hard to do one-handed, I don't know how you blokes do it on YouTube. Let's do it up here. Longer teeth. Right, that's just the guard. So underneath you'll see all them other ones, but it's reverse sided. It's the same on both sides. So it doesn't matter. And there's that little tip guard right there. Beautiful little piece of equipment. A must, in my opinion, again, for hedge trimmers to have. Because when you are doing your vertical runs and you're getting close to the concrete, you don't want that tip hitting. There's the exhaust up underneath there. That's it right there. Okay, still a little bit warm, so I'm not going to touch it. Another thing, the screens are eventually, when they clog up, I just get rid of them because they just end up with too much gunk. Now before I pack these up, I think I spoke about, I'm going to re-grease them and make sure they're not so stiff next time. Alright, so here's the teeth I've shown you before on the still. Let's see if I can get out of the light for you, that might be better. So right here, cutting, it's almost like a guide, not even sharp. And it's the one underneath. Underneath is this like guard, bloody guide, whatever you want to call it. The teeth is under here, right? So you just don't get the same crisp finish as you do when there's ones like this. See? So, above and below. Right? Show you the exhaust point on these two units. There's the STIHL right up under here. This one not as bad as the Bushranger because it's a bit of distance away, and typically you're cutting here, but still up against the edge of the hedge when you're coming along, you still do get it. So I've spoken about before, but the handles, like, not the best, very comfy, not the best, probably the worst, cheapest. Anyway, I'll show you the exhaust here, same deal, it's up a little bit from the actual blade, so if you can tell, that's the difference in the height, but even that, radiating heat, and it's just shooting out, especially at full boil, that's pumping. It's, yeah, just not the best design, in my opinion, for that, but they're the 3 units. Just line them up quickly again. Let's see that. Alright, all pretty much in line there. And there's the difference in the length. So that little bit you wouldn't think is a great deal, but it is when you're holding it, because same deal, like trigger, everything about it. Where you're holding the unit. Yeah. Now, I'll just show you quickly, on this battery unit, it's got the same blade design and teeth design as their 2-stroke units. Same quality, same materials, same design. It's beautiful. Cuts razor sharp. These ones are still extremely sharp. It's very, very new unit. And there's that guard that I'm talking about. I will make mention, can't see it, but see if I can flip it over. This one, it's rounded at least, whereas you'll notice on the Bushranger there, it's just cut off at the end. But yeah, same deal, you got the double-sided teeth, but no real guard as such. This does move, and I have noticed I've nudged the concrete with the tip of it, and it just worries you, especially if you're up against garden beds with rockery and things like that. It just, yeah, not sure why they haven't. I'll put these guards on in a second when I'm not doing it one-handed. Yeah, I'm not sure why they haven't put it on that, especially when I have it here. Again, you can just add it. It's only got to go in, I'm sure, to the top there, so it's just a matter of doing the same as this. But it should come with it for the price. Honestly, $600, I want to say. I'll have to get proper prices and everything. I'll put them all in the description at a later date, or if people want to comment, I'll definitely do some research for my local area. But yeah, regardless of the price, you make your money back pretty much in 1 or 2 jobs, and that's the idea. So you just keep growing the business from there using the quality equipment. You're not going to have a drama. Alright, I'm going to head out here quickly, and I think that'll do us for today. Grass is coming along, I'll just show you that quickly. Won't drop the camera in my little swimming pool I've got going here. Waiting on the concrete ramp that I'm going to be getting done up here. Going in there, get that sorted very soon. So I've just obviously transplanted what grass was here. Over here it's taken extremely well, being Kaikyu. All these little seedlings coming up and new regrowth. It's just like crazy how quick this stuff comes back. But yeah, taken over. I got on top of the army grubs and lawn grub beetle, little black beetles that you see. Notice one of the most annoying weeds that I've come across. Let's see if we can see it here. Paspalum. Right there. Alright, I'm getting off topic, but I'm getting on to that. Okay, show you this Honda unit. That'll do us. You can see how much rain fell. It was blowing in underneath. It's not leaks in my pipe work, don't worry. It's again, comes down the side there and up and under when it's in torrential rain. Moving on, Honda. So this is the piece of equipment here, GX35. Not sure if you can see that. Right. So 4-stroke unit, oil, 4-stroke fuel, top unit, easy to start, Honda reliability, can't go wrong, spoken about that many times. got the big beast ready to go for tomorrow. Got a massive job, and I was hoping to have my ride on by now, but it's taking a little bit longer. So back to the Toro, time saving. All the attachments up under there, chainsaw, 2 extensions, and the hedge trimmer attachment. Hedge trimmer attachment that comes with it for the price. It's one of those double-edged teeth, perfect. So you can use it on nice ones. For the cost, I think it's $70 to replace the actual blade itself, which is awesome. Cheap as chips to replace if you ever had to. So again, for the price that unit was, I've used that on plants and shrubs and just scrubbed it. Really, yeah, you don't need to be using good equipment on, but it's now my cheapest bit of equipment, and it's just the bit of equipment I use to get everything down, and then I polish it off with a nicer bit of equipment, give it a nice cut, because the rougher the cut, obviously you can get disease in your leaves, and another video altogether. Anyway, got the big backpack blower ready to go. I might throw on the small one, so I've got my brother back with me tomorrow. We'll get that sorted, and that'll do us for today. Almost need to yeah, I'll do another video, obviously, and I'll be discussing, sorry about that, he was in the way, discussing why this trailer setup that I'm getting, I wanted to get the enclosed trailer. I've been asking around, still might end up happening, but for now I'll get this, and then I'll probably look at upgrading the ute in the later half of the year. Waiting on the new DMAX, the 2020 DMAX to come out. Looks the goods, but for now this thing will definitely see me through. If it just so happens, if I need the other one, it's just for acreage jobs and things. I'm finding a 4-wheel drive would be handy. The tray is going to be smaller, but it's still going to be handy to have that 4-wheel drive just to get into places, even with the trailer on the back, just to have that extra bit of grunt and pulling power to get up hills and dirt roads, and yeah, just more growth for the business, which is awesome. Just a lot of things to think about, the direction I want to go with our properties and what we want to do with that and where we want to end up, and so many things to think about. Like everyone, it's just about moving forward and put one foot off in front of the other and keep making the right steps to make it happen a bit quicker, and then have little assets and investments working for you, so you're not having to work up until you're 80, 70, whatever you want to work till. You want to have assets pushing and growing for you in the background, doing their thing while you're still fit and able to get the job done. So yeah, another topic altogether, we'll get into that, but very exciting times. Can't wait to get all this out to you guys, and thank you very much once again. Talk to you all very soon. Bye.
Back in.
You know that's not going to be there for much longer. Okay.